What's going on, everybody? Let's put more classical music on as I work. Should have done that sooner, but hey. Got my morning cup of coffee. Gotta be working on Let's Go Metal Hero. I think I got four more pages to work on to do the cover art of, the line art of. And we out here. Oh wait, this is the wrong controller. This is not the controller I want to use. Here we go. Still getting everything set up. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. There we go. Stop. Yeah, I'll do it like this. Actually, maybe I can snake the wire through everything like this, so I can still rest my hand. Alright, that looks good. I'll be out here for an hour, up until somebody says something. And then, I'll just be watching some YouTube videos in the background. I'll be heading off. But, until then, we'll see how this goes. Okay. I want to change these eyes. I think that's fine. So, kind of work on the ears. I wonder what kind of people will come out today. Actually, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. I think that base is fine. Good enough. Okay. Over to the shoulders. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of drawing for the day, but I think I can get this done in an hour. Okay. I think for videos for tomorrow, I'm probably going to make a clip from a previous stream. And that's going to be the majority of my YouTube channel now. Okay. Constantly checking to see if somebody drops in and says hello. Fingers, whatever. Okay, she has that going on. Man, my hands are terrible. We moving on. We're moving on. Let's see. What was the original? I think I should do this one. It looks fast. Looks like I can get it done faster. And I have short attention span. I don't know. It's probably because of the clouds. I just don't feel like I can achieve a lot this morning. It's just a feeling. Okay. I kind of like rolled out of bed, this morning. And when I'm feeling like that, I'm like, man, I don't feel like giving it like 110% today. So instead of fighting it, I'm just gonna work with it and work on pages that requires me to draw less. Because every page has its own little, its own count. I'm trying to draw the characters first, and the other stuff later. I don't think this needs to be here. I think this will just be a part of the background. No, that's fine. Hmm. See, okay, that's good. Okay. Okay. You know what helps? I like listening to podcasts on like times two speed. And it kind of helps me work faster. Okay. Tweaking for no reason. Okay. There we go. Okay, 30 more minutes. Okay. Okay, okay. Hmm. 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 Okay. Okie doke. Yo, Shizumura, what's going on? Welcome to the chat. Oh snap, that was a while ago. Dang. I don't know if you're still in the chat. I'm just listening to stuff in the background. Oh yeah, cool. I caught you. Awesome. That's awesome. I was just looking at the timing, and I was like, oh wow, you put the duck thing 2 minutes ago. But I'm just doing my thing. What's going on? Wait, what was I doing? What was I doing? I lost track of what I was doing. Found it. All right, cool. What's going on, Shizumura? I'm just over here working on my comic. What am I? Still don't know what to call it. I need someone and some art to glance. I need someone and some art to glance at every now and then while I'm working. Oh yeah, I get you. I understand. I get you. I decided I'm trying to try out something difficult, something new. Trying to stream twice every day. Yeah, you've got a bunch of comics going on about this section. Yeah, I'm working on. I'm essentially working on all four of them at the same time. I'm working on a everything in batches. And batches are essentially just working on everything, working on like 5 to 10 pages of each series, and then I move on to the next series to prevent burnout. Because I notice that I get tired of looking at the same thing constantly. So to prevent that, I just work on one thing, and then I stop, move on to the next thing, and then I work on the next thing. Um, I think It's so funny because it started off with a. I didn't plan it to go out that way. Um, but it is what it is, you know. Right now, This is Let's Go Metal Hero. It's about two siblings who want to turn their robot into a superhero. Interesting approach. It's cool how you've got so many ideas going on at once. I mean, it's it really is pretty funny because, like I said, I haven't really thought about doing all like four series at once, right? It's just that I want to tell the stories I want to tell as much as possible. Not only that, I remember I think what inspired that was understanding like the 80/20 rule maybe, and maybe and like what was it, 20% of your output presents 80% of the results. And I want to make a living off of the comics that I work on. And I I assume that my first comic, Purgatory Academy, wouldn't blow up. So I thought maybe if I some of the comic ideas I had in the back burner, they would have a better chance of reaching an audience faster than my first series. So that's why I'm like dipping into other series to see if I reach a certain audience faster than my initial series. And plus, it's pretty easy. I won't say it's pretty easy because difficulty is relative for everybody. But I say it's when you understand structure, plot structure, it's I can write a story relatively quickly. And the way that I format all my stories, I try to make every volume its own arc, an open shut case. You know, kind of like an episode of a TV show. So that way I won't So that way I won't like drag on any story for longer than it needs to. Sometimes you have a longer series that needs more time to settle and not get the audience for a while. So it's interesting to have a faster comics on the side. Yeah, absolutely. I remember, and there's also ways for people to like get their comics noticed when it comes to like making shorter stuff. Because I know I noticed like when I was like posting some of my comics on Reddit, at first people really liked it, but as time went on, it fell more and more to the wayside, and I noticed the entire meta of online comics is mostly just one page jokes, like Sunday papers. And my stuff is sequential. You're gonna get the story in several pages, and like around 20 pages per chapter, and it can work. Sometimes it works. Um, Maybe I'm missing something when it comes to the finding the right time to post, but it's yeah, small relatable comics. I don't know. It's I never really got that. I never really got understood how to make those relatable comics. And plus, when I see a lot of those I don't know. It's just not funny to me. But it doesn't come natural. It doesn't really come naturally. So I guess, mm, but I guess I could probably work with somebody to like make one of those relatable comics. I mean, think it would be a good idea to. It'll be like a filler to get people to understand the characterization of some characters. But that's a lot. That's a lot of work. But maybe I can make that work. I can actually make that work probably. That the gears are turning. That's something I could probably work on. Actually, you're a genius, Shizumura. You gotta do what makes you happy when it comes to art. So if it doesn't speak to you, it doesn't. There's no lack of relatable comics. There's no lack of relatable comics out there. So if you got a story you want to tell, that's where you should put your energy into it, right? I hmm. But since it's like a one-off type comic, it doesn't require that much effort. All you really need to do is to have like a pot full of ideas, a pot full of prompts, right? And and all you need to do is tell a short story, a short one-page story. It doesn't need to be a joke. It just need to be like set up a punchline, set up punchline, um, into within like 4 pages, 4 panels, or whatever that you can fit into a story, right? That you can fit into a page, and it'd be a cool exercise to I'm thinking as I talk, right? I'm villain scheming right here. You got my tips touching right now. Uh, so I'm thinking. So if let's say hypothetically, if somebody had a pot full of ideas and use it as prompts in understanding and using the right characters for the prompts to further show characterization. That would be a good exercise of character writing, dialogue. And not only that, it will it will present you with well present you. It will be an opportunity to create more content, and that content can be reused as some sort of an advertisement. Touch tipping right now. Touch tipping. I'm cooking right now. That's great. That's what it's all about. You got need the recipe. You need 2 minds, a cup of coffee, and and a will and a way. Okay, okay, okay. I was thinking about what I would do with the later tonight when it comes to, because I was basically finished doing the backlog. Because what my backlogs are, I usually go back and digitally sketch the try to digitally sketch the entire chapter before I go back to working on, so I can go back to finishing them. So, oh, what's going on, Muhammad, in the chat, in the from YouTube? What's going on? Create a label comics, and then boom, there's character in it. Also, since you like my relatable comic, look at my other comics, Evil Laughter. Yeah, look at the comics of this character. Uh, what the heck? PDF 24. No, I don't want to update right now. But anyway, look at the look at these characters. But if you like this character, check out this comic. Check out the comic where this character is from, where you can see more of it, and he's still acting the way he's still acting the way as you see him in the relatable comic, because it's an exercise of, and not only that, it's a more, it's, I feel like that's a better way to get your character characterization across, more than making a bio, making a character bio. Because when you put like a certain character in a situation, because every character will react with a situation in a different way, right? Because I can write down, oh man, freaking Malik over here. He's a stoic character, not stoic. He's a troublemaker. He's a troublemaker, and I can make a little bit of a same prompt, different multiple takes. That's a good idea. That's a good idea right there too. Best name Malik. Best name. Yeah. Um. This kid's Malik. Let's see if I can pull up a different thing. Actually, I'll pull up the title. The title, so you can see the main characters of the series. So this is this is Malik right here with his shark shirt. This is his older sister Michaela, and this is the robot that Malik found in their backyard. And Malik calls this robot Metal Hero. So and Malik just wants to turn the robot into a superhero. Oh yeah, and this is a character that we're trying to find, a character that is introduced in this chapter named Michaela. Her name is Kiki. She is Malik's friend. It's like a one side it's like a one sided friendship. Malik finds Kiki annoying, but Kiki just likes to be around Malik. It's in the family. Of course, the robot also has as a name started with M. It's in the family. I wanted like a naming scheme with every character in this series has a K in their name, because I remember that, and that also reminds me of, I remember scrolling through YouTube Shorts, and and I remember there was a Tolkien. It was like a talk, like it was like a, not a TED talk, but it was one of those like on stage interviews, where Tolkien was talking about. Ah man, I remember some people say what you don't do in fiction is having characters with the same, that has like the same name, that the same letter in their names, that their name starts with the same letter. I mean, and okay, let me turn this off. This freaking podcast off. I don't need to listen to it anymore. So he said, don't have multiple characters that names start off with the same letter, and he said that's the dumbest. I remember he said like that's the dumbest uh, advice ever, because with his series, he was like, he was like, when you look, he's inspired by a lot of like European history, and when you look into European history, you find people with a lot of Arthurs, a lot of people with the same, not only names that start with the same letter, but a lot of people just have the same name. if you look into history, a lot of people just end up having like the same names. Um, so it doesn't really matter. And that also reminds me. That also reminds me when you look into the Bible. The Bible has like the Bible has like so many characters that have the same names to the point where you would have that you would have like, oh, James the brothers of Jesus, James the carpenter, James the physician, like you would have so many people with the same names. Like there's so many Johns, yeah. And Jonah, yeah, Jonas, like to the point where you like they're it's like they're named like Sonic characters or something. Their last names are essentially their professions because that's like the next best thing of identifying who the person is just by their profession because everybody has the same name. And I want to try that too. I want to do that with Chimera Island, but I don't know how to do that yet. I have some ideas, but I don't know how I can implement that. I would love to do like, oh yeah, this is James the snake, and also this is also James the anaconda, James the anaconda, James the turtle, James the cat or whatever. I think that would be funny. John Smith really is a Smith. Yeah, that's where a lot of last names come from though. It's just oh yeah, just by saying this is just this person's profession. Mohammed from YouTube says, "What do you think about Jim Jung Ji, the one who draws ink pens from his imagination?" I don't really think anything about him. He's a world renowned. He's a great artist, I suppose. He didn't like not a lot of the stuff really caught my attention. He's just good. I don't like he's pretty good. I don't know what more you what more do you want to know about him? I know it's like when I have like a contrarian type mind when a lot of people start praising one specific artist. I'm mostly like, oh yeah, that he's cool. I guess I don't I don't know what else to add to that personally. He did a lot of good drawings. He taught a lot of good people how to draw well. Um, with me, I'm mostly I don't have anything super specific about Kim Jong Ji or a lot of artists. The way that I see a lot of artists is that they're usually doing their thing, unless they're being trifling to other people trying to get their being trifling to other people trying to get their creativity out, their message out. And Kim Jong Ji lived, he did his mission, and God bless him. Hey Loki, what's going on? Man, I should freaking start doing a stream starting soon for an hour. Because the entire first hour of this stream was just silence. But yeah, I'm still doing the thing. Still making comics, still drawing characters, still doing the thing. Bada bing, bada boom. I need to find out how to what she has on her shirt. I think I'll do a peace sign or something. Later. I'll do that later. Shizumura with the Sonic. But how's everybody doing this morning? I think I'll cut this off so I can draw a lot, so I can don't have to draw the hands. There we go. What the heck? Yeah. Well, I wanted to listen to your opinion because he's my favorite artist. Okay. Yeah, I think he's like very good at what he does. I saw a couple of his interviews on how his approach to drawing and building. I believe he said something about building visual libraries or like the way they understands textures. I remember when he said the way he understands textures is just touching things to have like an understanding and just drawing a lot from observation. Um, I'm a true believer in talent. How some things are just very much innate. Um, I think like can anybody draw? Sure, I'm sure everybody can draw if they just put the time into it. But for some people, it just clicks faster than others. Um, and I feel like with him, a lot of things clicked pretty quickly. That's why it's so weird to me when it comes to people who want to be like, oh yeah, I want to learn to do this, and if they don't have like a natural proclivity to pick it up, it's going to be a lot harder. If they don't, if it doesn't click super well for them. Hold up, I think I'm getting a scam likely call. Yep, awesome. I love data brokers, bro. I love data brokers. But I think I think it's very interesting. So yeah, some things just come more naturally to people than others. And I think what scam call live. I freaking we got another data broker in the chat. I love data brokers. Like I it's always do anybody pick up like scam calls and figure out what they usually ask for? For me personally, they ask if I'm selling property, and they always call me Gene. Can we get a hell yeah for guys? Will look at data brokers and say hell yeah. The thing about yeah, I like people. The strange thing about these guys is that they're always asking me if I'm selling property from a place that I don't live at. They are they're sending me text messages about arrow pumps, like breast pumps or something like that, and they're either they're really they think that my name is Gene, and then no matter what, every time I tell them to don't call this number again, don't call me back, they'll always call me back. And like in the next day. I don't know what to do about it. Wait, let me see. I had to let me change adjust the camera. Okay, yeah. It fell a little bit. A little cut off, whatever. Man, what's with these data? It's it's very weird, man. But yeah, but you don't know what to do about it. I know that from watching YouTube, you got YouTubers saying, "Hey, yeah," saying like giving out recommendations, or they were being paid to promote a certain what do they call it? Uh, Product that takes your stuff away from data brokers, so you don't get those scam calls anymore. But I don't know. I'll endure. I'm not making boku amounts of monies yet, so I shall endure. I shall endure until until I really can't take it anymore. But yeah, I should actually no. Hold up. I want to write the 1 page comics thing down before I forget. Cuz right now, this is I live I live by this by this thing right here. It's my weekly planner. It's time to answer the call. Tell them about your property. Tell about your properties. KNV product, what's going on? Oh yeah, dude, freaking yo, I I think everybody should have like their weekly planner or something like this. I got mine from like the dollar store. They're really cheap. If you can get something like that comes like with a whiteboard, buy some extra dry erase markers. And on every Sunday, I just rest. and I just plan out the entire week, which is pretty easy. I'm unemployed and I'm trying to I'm living the riskiest life possible, I guess, as an artist. I'm unemployed. I'm trying to make as much content as possible to get people. I'm going on overdrive, right? I'm trying to make as much content as possible so people can understand and see the content, the comics I'm trying to create. So I can make a living off of it because I feel it in my bones that it's possible, right? Um, Despite what a lot of people say. I feel it in my bones, right? So I start off with Sunday and I plan Monday to Saturday what I'm gonna do for the entire week. I want to do three things. I work on Metal Hero for 3 hours. I plot how to get people I plot trying to find out how to get people interested in my in any of the series. So right now I'm dual streaming on Twitch and on YouTube. Oh yeah, I think did I say what's up to KNV? Yeah, what's up KNV? I see you out there. Um, and I'm oh yeah, trying to get people understanding, aware. And I think the best way to do that right now is through YouTube because they have I feel like they have a pretty sophisticated algorithm. So I can optimize these kind of streams so I can it can be seen to more people. And I whatever. And I was whatever that slipped out. Um, and I think today I'm gonna pay for vending because I think I'm gonna go out to the flea or farmers markets on Sunday. I'm thinking about it before like the deadline for this week. But I think right now I'm gonna add make relatable comics. I think that would be easy actually. If it's gonna be like small and oh my gosh, that's so freaking. I'm so mad. I just got a flashback from like last year because I was vending at a flea market, and one of the and like there's a guy next to me because like every like the way that my flea market whoops yeah the way that my flea market goes in my area, like it's a gigantic parking lot because that's where they have like the state fair, and during the state fair they 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 we have like 10 by 20 feet areas where people just set up their booths. And like my first year starting off in the first half of the first year last year, starting off, there was a guy that had a dispensary. Um, that was like a couple of spaces down from me, and he has a son, and his son is like very smart for his age. But actually, I think a lot of I'll say he's very smart for his age because I don't know how I don't talk to a lot of 15-year-olds, so I wouldn't know. But he was pretty cool, and he gave me he said, you know what you should do? You should make smaller comics. He basically said you should do the relatable comics idea like a year in advance before like this stream, a year in advance before the stream, until I thought, okay, actually that is a pretty good idea. And it's so weird, honestly, because it really takes like everything to align for me to go like, okay, maybe this is a good idea. Maybe he was onto something. Mostly, I don't know. Life happens that way. My brain does happen. I guess my brain works that way. I think a lot of things need to like happen, needs to like be aligned in order for me to understand that like what makes an idea work in my specific situation. So, I'll give it a go. I'll give it a whirl. I'll give it a twirl. And that was a very verbose. Oh wow. Let me see if I could. I'm sorry that I'm constantly looking down because my setup is freaking bad. My setup is awful. I don't know if I could show you my setup. My setup is hold up. Excuse the mess. Yeah, this is my entire setup right here. I have like two Amazon boxes right here. I have two Amazon boxes, and that's my PC, and my scanner. I'm standing right now because I don't. It's not a New Year's resolution, but I want to stand more while I draw. I don't know, because I feel like I've just been sitting around too much. So many. Oh yeah, oh yeah. This is my my Always Sunny in Philadelphia like schizo notes, I guess, because this is like the original. Like all these notes right here are is like the like plan um the original plot points for from my Chimera Island series. Like the way that I'm telling the story now. Oh yeah, this is my wall. I have I have an anatomy chart, but it's all in French. I don't even speak French. It has, but it only shows like the front and the bones. And this is a holographic Chainsaw Man poster that I got. Wait, I don't. It's you're supposed to see power. I don't think you can see power. Oh yeah, there's power. But I got that from a an anime convention that I went to earlier this year, and and it was hanging, and I was like, you know what? Like I didn't hang it for a while, so I was like, you know what? Maybe I should hang it right now. Oh snap! I got tangled. There we go. So that's my small setup. Maybe when I get more money, I'll have a more sophisticated setup. Honey dying. Yeah. I'm here. I'm good. I'm Gucci. Let me think. Yeah, but like on my oh yeah, also on further I have it all across my wall. You can see the notes all the way there. That's basically the version 2 notes for Chimera Island. And like that gigantic poster, this is for visually planning. Oh yeah, this is for visually planning. Um, Purgatory Academy. Like I'm a visual person, so when I every time I start a new volume, I I have idea or notes that I want or beats or notes that I want to happen in specific areas of the story. I estimate that my legs hurt. I understand my legs hurt a lot because of drawing. Yeah, like I think I got this idea of just stacking boxes on top of my monitor because I thought like those standing desks were cool, but I'm like I those are expensive. I don't have the time or money. Oh, I don't have the money to invest in a standing desk. So the next best thing for me was just was just to stack Amazon boxes on top of each other until it gets to like my rough height, so I can just start drawing while standing. But I have a I have a I like to keep Purgatory Academy in a 3 act structure. So I have like what happens in Act One, Act Two, Act Three, and I want it to be formulaic of having an introduction to the premise, have a thing, having a section for the playground of ideas, and the character's response after the evaluation of the topic of the volume and the playground of ideas, right? But in Chimera Island, it's more of a 4 act structure. Because well, it's kind of weird. It's very weird because it's a it follows 4 characters simultaneously, and the I guess the in order I guess the it's still, how would I put this? It's still in chronological order. So it but the perspective switches when a certain beat is well, not a certain beat, but a certain part of their story. I feel like it's finished, right? But I'm cycling it through 4 characters, and each time that they are seen, I was thinking of maybe I would do like give each character's 3 chapters, a beginning, middle, and end for their story. Well, so that'll make me have like 12 chapters per volume. But I was thinking maybe I can do 4, but that'll make 16 chapters per volume. That's gonna be crazy. And I want to have like at least 20 pages. I mean, at least 20 pages per chapter. So I'm still figuring it out. I just and like right now I'm on chapter 1 of Chimera Island. And geez, that was like I think that's 32 pages. I didn't really plan it for it to be that long. It's just how it is what it is, I suppose. But hey, like the way that I'm organizing everything, it's getting done. It's getting done, and that's the best thing. That's the best thing about it. So back to back to working on Let's Go Metal Hero. You know, but yeah, that was a quick tour. Oh yeah, and on the freaking left of my Chimera Island chapter one, I my Chimera Island like freaking version 1 notes is just notes of affirmation or just notes to think about what to always think about, like praying and planning. Don't worry about the future. Uh, don't worry about the future. Just keep making content. Praise God and such like that. And like notes that'll say like, don't forget to dedicate chapter 1 to volume 1 of Just a Reaper. You know, yeah, it's just stuff like that. I like having notes on the walls. It looks crazy. Like I don't know, but hey, it keeps me focused. I guess I'm a visual person. If you haven't noticed, but it keeps me focused. But yeah, let's see. Let's see. Let me see if I can change the head shape. Let's see if I can change the head shape over here. What's on everybody's mind? What's on everybody's mind tonight? Tonight. Golly, the day just started. It's like 10:19 where I am. One thing I'm trying to like be aware of is same face syndrome. You know, but at the same time, if the audience understands who's talking and who I'm drawing, it's an afterthought, really, purely an afterthought. So she's looking at the robot over here. She's like saying, "Who's this?" I wonder. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I don't know why, but I'm for a split second I was like, "Is my mic on?" Was all that yeah, that would be something if I said all that and the entire mic was off. Okay. I think I'm gonna look at. She's gotta look at the robot over here. It's just like, who's this? And Malik is like, none of your business. Oh, that's Nunya. None your business. Roasted. Okay. So I think after the stream, I'm gonna. Oh, man, I was thinking, right? Like usually, I was like watching a lot of YouTube, and a lot of YouTubers they say that uh, if you change your, if you change the whatchamacallit, if you change the, I'm trying to remember the title and the thumbnail, uh, YouTube would give it another chance. Wait, let me see. Let me check something out real quick. Let me go on. I'll try to go on Twitch. Twitter's always. Yeah, Twitter's always doing some stupid. All right, cool. I was doing a little bit of checking, but anyway, for me, I want to reach. Oh, Twitter. Yeah, every every day I think about leaving Twitter more and more because it really doesn't nurture the soul. For me, I want to. Muhammad says, for me, I want to reach that level, the level that I want, so I can start my own business, and I cannot wait to see my development. I say start right now and grow as you go because the one thing I kind of don't like about the idea of I want to get better before I start is is like there there you don't know if you will allow yourself to say you're good enough. So start smaller, start on a smaller scale and build from there. And the sooner you start, the sooner you'll pick up on what to do, what not to do. Uh, the more mistakes that you make, the better. That's the best. That's the best thing I could say. I truly like. I haven't truly left, but I'm not on there much. All I do there is post that I'm on Twitch, and I no longer go there. Ain't good for your mentals. No, it's not. Absolutely not. I don't. I really don't know what about Twitter that makes me go back because like every time I go on Twitter, I leave and then I go back again. I think it's because I keep having different ideas of like what to make content around. Because I had a phase where I'm like maybe I can be like a news guy, and a lot of people get their news through Twitter, so maybe I can go on Twitter just to follow people so I can make reaction content off of new stuff. But the problem with that is I'm bad at keeping up with like new things. I'm not even in the know. I'm not even plugged. And not only that, what happens in the news is not interesting to me. So that's like a double reason for to not do that. So now I'm just stuck on Twitter. Not stuck on Twitter, but now I'm on Twitter. I don't know why. I let people know when there's an update to my website. I used it before to like air out some like grievances what I had with the indie comic space. But other than that, no, it's not helping me at all. If anything, it hurts. It hurts my mental just staying on there. Muhammad says, I feel like the people of Twitter are so dumb. And yeah, you don't even know who's real or not for real. Because the weird thing about Twitter to me is how there is an influx, like a huge influx of bots, and ever since people were like getting, I feel like ever since people were getting paid for their engagement on that platform, there has just been an influx of. I think I'd say like the quality of the site just downgraded immensely. They are always negative. I I remember my co-writer Matt. I remember he said like Twitter is the closest thing. Social media, or like to a further extent, Twitter was like the closest thing for a government MK Ultra. Like being able to spit, like being able to like act quickly, or just have your base reactions, or just have of that avenue of quickly saying what's on your mind is not good for anybody. I don't think so. Because I think what what should be encouraged is or stuff that's like slow to act. But I don't know. I don't know. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not no Twitter guy. I'm not a family guy. Actually, this would be pretty cool. Actually, I'm gonna change her reaction. I think it's like doing that like I'm trying to do that the thing where the character is outside of the what do they call it, the borders, so it adds some depth. I don't know. It's it's weird to understand what to do in the age of distraction, because wants everybody wants their 15 seconds of fame. And I feel like if you're going to make it big on any social media, like something like Twitter or Instagram, it like I feel like the most effective thing to do is memes, I suppose. Stuff that's easily shareable and marketable and make it viral or something like that. And it really depends on like what kind of game you want to play to get to your destination. Because the weird thing about being an adult, and you realize like all your life as a kid, you have people telling you what to do and like what is the most effective way, like what to do. But when you're an adult, there is like all the training wheels are off, and then you realize that there is no right or wrong way to get to the end, to get to the finish line of what you want to do. Oh, sorry. Ah, man. I wish there was like an automatic peaking thing that like mutes it like Discord, so I won't blow your eardrums out every time I accidentally touch the mic. But anyway, other than that, yeah, it's like there is no right or wrong way to get to your destination, and that's like the weirdest thing about being an adult, is that you have to strip that idea down. But hey, live and learn. Okay, I think this is good. I wonder how long this will take me. Like this is where like his jetpacks are or something like that. Okay. Let's see. I'm also trying to use. I don't know what's what I can use social media for per se. like I have been using Facebook groups. I stopped using Facebook groups for a while because I'm trying to figure out how can I how can I use it the most effectively. But I think using doing the one page thing is probably going to be the best possible way. And plus, I gotta make sure I don't jinx myself because every time I'm like, oh man, this is the way, this is it, Michael Jackson, this is it. I'm usually I usually get discouraged when the result isn't what I expect. OMG, that's so true. Blame everyone blame for leaving uni because of art. For leaving uni because of art. Well, I think it's the best step I've ever taken, and I will see the results soon. So true. Everybody blame for leaving university of art. Well, I think it's the best step I've ever taken. Okay. Wait, so I'm trying to figure. I'm trying. Like I have the I have a low literacy rate, I guess. I'm low in literacy. So you're saying you like you're still in university for art? I think I think oh it's very different for people. Cause like before, I remember when people say that they want to go to school for art, and I'm like, why? You can everything you want to learn is like on the internet and such, and you'll save a lot of money. But I remember people saying that's true, but they want to be in an environment where they have they have to force themselves to work with a schedule because they need that external discipline to get the results that they want to see. And I'm like, all right, cool. What the heck? Oh, did I do this wrong? Oh, okay, yeah, I did. I did do it wrong. And yeah, like everybody learns differently. Everybody's on their own path of doing something. Let me change that. Let me change this. Yeah, let me make it a little bit simpler. I think if anything from this chapter is I'm thinking that the line art's a little bit too light, but I'll see where it goes. I think I still think about what's best. Everybody has to like do like a an inventory check of where they want to be and what steps do they have to take to go there. Like for me, um, I feel like I would hope that a lot of external factors would take me where I need to be, like investing right, using the money that I got from like college, from like FAFSA and whatnot to invest right, and my investments would like take me to like no sorry I meant like I left a uni major I do not like, so I can go into art school. These when you are talking about adulthood. Oh yeah, true. Adulthood and childhood. Oh yeah, I get you. I get you. So yeah, it's something that's so weird. It's something that's so weird, honestly. And if anything, I wish. Actually, no. I think there's like a. I don't know how controversial this opinion is, but I remember when a lot of people used to say, "Oh man, I wish was taught X, Y, and Z in school," right? And that doesn't make sense to me because I feel like if you had a certain mindset of school in one way, if they taught you like how to pay your taxes, how civics and economics work, and how to only use like the PIEDMA system, you know, if like after your addition, subtraction, multiplications, exponents, and yeah, and parentheses, right? After you learn all that, you're set on math for like your entire adult life. Uh, Anything outside of that, that's kind of weird. Like if people didn't really weren't interested in like the bare basics in school, I'm not really convinced that people would pay attention if they were teaching us the more important stuff in school. The funniest part, Shizuma says, the funniest part is that, quote, they taught you that in school. You weren't paying attention. That's very weird because every curriculum is different. don't, I don't like when people say that. I'm like, every curriculum is different, though. It's, I feel like I could remember a lot of the lessons that happened in school because I was just bored. Like I remember general topics that was taught in school. I think at my mind at the time I was like, why do I need to know this? What like what's going on? What's going on? Why do I need like I don't care about these like why am I learning these vocabulary words? Show it to me in a way that I need to learn to sink or swim. I guess my the way that I learn is different. Uh, I think the best way for me learning is like what being an adult, and I own my own LLC. I own my own business, I suppose. And the best way of understanding budgeting and running budgeting is just like doing a little having a little bit of knowledge and just throwing it at the wall. The best way of me learning about how to market is just taking the little bit of knowledge that I do have, throwing it at the wall, trying everything and see what sticks. Just bam. And oh yeah, and journaling. I think everybody should journal. Like they would have like hold up. Let me show. I wonder if I have. Okay, right. Also, the dollar store has a lot of cool things. I have a journal right here, and it's like filled to the brim with me just basically thinking to myself every day. I don't know how many pages. This is like 180 sheets, so like around over 300 pages. And I would just like wake up, or when I'm bored or have some time to myself, I just crack this thing open. I date it, and I just like write what the heck is going on. Sometimes it's positive, sometimes negative, and it's just mental vomit on those pages. And I just ask myself, why do I think this is gonna work? Why doesn't this work? What do I expect from this? Why like why should this work? And if I were to do something different, how would I be able to do it? It's just I just ask myself a bunch of questions. I observe my thought processes, and it's just general thought vomit. And I think that just helps me. I don't even go back and reread it or reread what I wrote, right? Because I can barely read my own handwriting, and I just think it's also a cool way to like keep a train of thought from like being out, you know. Keeps your train of thought solid. But Shizuma, I know, but like you said about how they teach you math and it just sets you up for life. But if you weren't paying attention in math, how would you pay attention in home economics or other stuff? Yeah, like And also, I think my dad works with like high schoolers or like middle schoolers or whatever, and they are freaking tough. They like it's like I feel like every generation gets progressively worse. I feel like it's so funny because I graduated in like 2017, right? And I remember like every time I hear somebody saying everybody I hear somebody saying like what's going on in their school, like year after year it just sounds progressively worse. And now my dad's working at a school, and he's saying that the kids, they just can't you just can't separate the kids from their phone. Like kids will just constantly be in the fight, and then their parents would like not even care. um it's insane, it's nuts. It's like I'm like, oh wow, that's not that's and like the kids, they are so antisocial. Like when it's time to be in a group project, they have to be forced to be in a group, and when they're in a group, they don't even talk to each other. I'm like, wow. I'm like, and like I remember my dad was like watching compilations of like teachers just like losing it and just like breaking down, just leaving the classroom because the kids were just being overtly disrespectful. And my dad was just like, yeah, that's true. I was like, yeah, I understand. Like, I feel like having those days too. And I'm like, wow, that's insane. That is insane. Like, why would it? Hmm. I get the idea of wanting to change the lives or wanting to change the perspectives of the youth, but I'm like, something's got to change because like right now it's cooked. Like they're cooked. Like the curriculum's got to change. They can't like what worked in the 70s is not working in the 2020s. Honestly, cooked. I agree. Agree. Well, with the whole experience of art school is cool, but if I will not learn how to draw, I will enjoy. Wait, hold up. I gotta read again. I gotta read again. I'm sorry, Mohammed. I agree, but if the whole experience of art school is so cool, even if I will not learn how to draw, I will enjoy being with a lot of artists. That is also true. That is also true. I mean, if it's in your budget, don't. My only thing, don't get yourself in debt. Do not get yourself in debt. If they say like, okay, here's a loan, don't take it. Don't take it, bro. Um, I guess I know you're like in. I think you said you're in Saudi Arabia. Your stuff, your whole system might be better than what's in the U.S. But like in the U.S., like if if you see anything that has a loan on it, like that, they are going to in America, they are going to prison you. They are going to like keep you in chains for as long as as long as the rest of your life. And like for a lot of people, the only way that you will get that student loan forgiveness is in death, bro. They will have you, bro. It's but if they have art schools in Saudi Arabia, they're like more forgiving about that kind of stuff. Me, general, I don't want to borrow money. I don't want to borrow money at all. But that being said, if you can go to school for free and if they pay to go to school, then sure, why not? Have fun. Learn to draw, learn to connect. And yeah, learn to draw, learn to connect with people. It's a when I was in community college for a while, I made a couple friends. It was fun meeting people. But that's all I can say about that. Shizuma says, "Oh my, OMG! I used to teach university year one, so it's a bunch of late 17, 18 year olds, and I could tell a massive difference between before and after COVID. After COVID, suddenly everybody had a much worse attention span, got distracted easy, overly reliant on the phone. Yeah, just like they sort of forgot how to be in the classroom together and how they sort of have to behave. It's that if it's work for everyone, they're cooked. Let's tell how how to tell it's an American. Oh no! Oh well, yeah, they don't have, but they did offer you money to study abroad. Mm, you gotta understand. Yeah, you. By the way that well, you have to learn English. By the way that
If I wasn't American, what would you expect my my nationality would be? I don't know if I have a specific accent uh, or anything, but that'd be an interesting question. But I remember like I'm from North Carolina. I'm technically from the South. I even had family members tell me that I sound like a Yankee because my grandmother doesn't want my grandmother didn't want everybody want her children or her grandchildren to speak in African American vernacular English or just like African slang. So my grandmother instilled that in my father, and my father instilled that, and my mother instilled that in us. So you so we don't speak. So I guess growing up, I just haven't really picked up any sense of ebonics. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But there are always sayings that are just kind of universal, like it is what it is. But yeah, but like the American loan system is nuts. American loan system is nuts. But you have to learn English. That makes it really. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Um, but the thing about everybody being like post COVID and everybody being on their phones, that's that's very interesting. That is very interesting because what were they doing before? I guess they were like more attentive when it came to doing schoolwork. I don't know. I really don't know. I remember when I was like writing the second book of Purgatory Academy. There's a segment where the kids said say the Pledge of Allegiance, and I was like thinking, right? And I was like, do kids even say the Pledge of Allegiance in the American schools anymore? Like, I know I haven't like been out of the system that long, but like though from what I hear, things just change so quickly. I don't know if like past traditions even stay around. You know? Hmm. Yeah, but it is. Hold up. There you go. There you go. Yeah, like kids could still get distracted by playing games or watching something on YouTube, but they'd be more quiet about it, less extremely overexcited because they forgot how to sit in the classroom for 1 hour. Something antisocial behavior, I suppose. I think. Okay, I thought it was trash day today. I saw the trash. I saw like a trash truck, and I was like, is it today? Did I forget to take the trash out? But no, it's fine. It's fine. I really think the whole system is very different. I also believe like guys and girls they learn differently. They have like different overall they have like different ways that they learn or how to get their attention a lot more. I know for like young boys, like they like to be active. I like to be active. I'm very much a hands-on person. And like I said earlier in the stream, I'm not gonna pick up anything or I'm not gonna retain anything unless I understand what's gonna the context of what I'm learning. You know, like if someone tells me like American history, like I could tell people like the funny thing about like Americans and especially like Black Americans, like they'll tell you the entire lore of Dragon Ball Z, but they can't tell you like who were the first five presidents of the United States. Like they could tell you like the first. They could tell you all of the Hokage, like all the Hokages in Naruto, but they can't tell you like who like like American history. because, and I think I don't know. There's something it's a joke that I had, but I say that in a way of the way that we learn. It needs to be more contextual, you know. And when you learn about like the history, you need to understand like how does that affect us today. It's kind of like linguistics, like learning the origin of words, right? When you see when you take a lot of words from like it's Greek or Latin with like Greek or Latin roots, it makes sense it makes sense to understand suffix and prefixes a lot more, or understanding like why people say what they say, or where a saying comes from, right? Yeah, totally. I'm just saying that I was teaching adults, so it's like my students, you don't have to be here if you don't want to, but you are here. At least don't make it worse for your colleagues. Right. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, you're in university. That so they really have no business doing that, honestly. I feel like everything oh, man, actually when I was that age and I was in university, it was mostly I was there because it was either in my household, I still live with my parents. Um it was you either go to school or you go to the military. So even when they're technically adults per se, like they still don't want to be there. They're there. I don't know. It like everybody's different. If they're since they're like just because they're there doesn't mean they necessarily want to be there. It's just that they need a daycare for adults. It's fine. This me telling a grown adult, "Do you want to leave? Just leave. It's fine. It won't hurt my feelings." Daycare. Yeah, that's basically. Um, I like when you look at just the general lack of purpose nowadays. I noticed like I hate saying the word society, but I noticed that even the way that back in middle school, even the way that I was learning things, uh, I the way that the way that I was learning things and what I was learning, and how that I applied that information, it just didn't mean anything because I couldn't find ways for me to like live off of the information that I was given, for the majority of like my childhood and like teenage life. So I hadn't understood. So I understood that there was a lack of purpose of a lot of things, and when you have children, were like earlier back in the conversation, where people don't have a purpose and a I guess I did say that earlier in the conversation. Scratch that. But if people don't really have a purpose of being where they want to do. Oh yeah. You like when you're an adult. When you're an adult. Okay, now I remember. When you're an adult, nobody tells you what to do anymore, and going up to that, it's more like a switch instead of a gradual thing. Like when you're like in elementary school, middle school, and then high school, like you're told what to do and how to do it. But when you're like 18, when you're like graduate from high school, you're like, all right, you're an adult, have fun. And you have all these kids, all these like 18-year-olds who just told you have freedom now, and you're like, what does that mean? What do I want to do? I was told to do X, Y, and Z for like 18 years of my life, and now I'm being told, all right, have fun. Have fun doing what? Okay, I'm just gonna go back to school, I guess, to figure some things out. And I understand why you would have like 17, 18-year-olds acting like children, because they're still in that transitionary period of still figuring out what they want to do with their lives. What's clicking to me. That's what it sounds like to me. I'm a storyteller by heart, so I'm trying to figure out like some. And the best way I can remember, I don't remember like statistics. I remember stories, right? So that's the best story that I can formulate in my head to make sense of why 17 and 18-year-olds they're not acting like adults. I know I had one 60 plus year old student. He was just there to hang out, learning, learning secondary, hanging out. Cool. Really? That's weird. That's interesting. Ah, I gotta think about that. I had to stop about that. Like, why? Like, 60-year old student at university just to hang out. Huh. Bro reached retirement age and needed daycare. That's weird. That's so freaking weird. I I'd be looking at that 6 year old guy like sideways for the entire semester. I'm like, and like if he wants to learn, then sure. But if he's just hanging out, I'm like, what are we doing here, bro? Like, is there nobody at the retirement home? Is there no social club that she can go to? Like, that's so weird, bro. That's so interesting. He was probably trying to pick up chicks. That's probably it. I don't know. Yeah, yeah, they're trying to figure themselves out, and honestly, quite fascinating to see which of them will actively enjoy the things they're learning, and those who will realize coming into class like, how do you do, Pelican? Showing up in class being like, ah, oh, man, I have my ops on me. Is that a run in with the ops? But like, hey, bro, it's 60. Who are your ops? The professor. All right, Gramps. Also quite fascinating to see which of them will actively enjoy the things they're learning, and those who will realize they don't have to study something they don't like and go for something that suits them better. Yeah, it's like I said, it's a transitionary period. That's why I am late into uni and I'm 20 now. Oh, congratulations. Coming into class, like, yeah, yeah. I mean, like, I'd stayed in community college for a while until I'm like, I'm not learning anything here, and then I dropped out. I personally dropped out, because like I said, I really didn't feel like they were giving me anything that I wanted to do, um, or wanted to achieve in life. Plus, I went in for graphic design and advertising because I thought it would be easy because I was like doing essentially the curriculum. I was essentially doing the curriculum, uh, that before. How would I put this? I thought it would be easy because it's a world that I already knew, but it was just unfun to the amount of I now have people grading me on what I already know, and it just made the whole experience just annoying. Because I remember in the graphic design and advertising, like like in one of my later classes, like we had to make 50 thumbnails of a for a I don't know, it was like for a fake company or for a what would they call it, a convention. And I just really thought it was unnecessary to make 50 thumbnails, to have 50 ideas, and then whittle it down to 25 new ideas, and then choosing one out of the 100, like out of the 75 thumbnails. And we had to do it in like 3 days or something, or less than that. And the justification was like, oh, it's like that in the real world, so you hop to it, chop chop. And I was like, this is so dumb. This is so dumb. Why would anybody? I just didn't like that. I was like, if this is what it's like, then this is really sure. Get sure that's cool. But when I remember when I was like picked up uh as a freelance designer from for a tech company, they uh they wanted me to do art for them, and what I did, I I treated it like any kind of commission that I would get before I was even in college. I would just draw 4 thumbnails, and I said, these are my ideas. These are the compositions that I think that will work. Choose one, and they chose one, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'll have it done. Bam, line art done. Bam, colors done. I even added like gradients to like make it pop. And they're like, you know what? Take off the gradients because it's not fitting the corporate style that we're going for. I'm like, no problem, dog. And bam, it was a quick interaction. They got what they paid for. They were happy with it, and and that's how it goes. Going from point A to point B without unnecessary work from both parties. But who am I? I'm just a freelancer, I guess. I'm just a silly little freelancer. But yeah, man, man, I was on this freaking page for a while. Okay, I still don't know what to draw. I'll figure out what to draw on her shirt later. I'm thinking maybe a peace sign, but I'll figure it out later. I feel like the college period is just for enjoying. You will not learn how to make money. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and what the book says is so true. Oh yeah, I remember reading that book. I think the book is good to get in a general mindset of how to respect money. I think of like yeah, how to respect money. Oh yeah. I think the coolest thing that I've read from Rich Dad Poor Dad that will stick with me was a chapter that told the story of a writer that was talking to Robert Kiyosaki, and and like a Robert was like, "Oh man, you're such a good writer. You should go into marketing." And the writer was so offended by the idea of going into marketing because she was like, "Oh, all marketers care about are money and or is money and PR and all that stuff, and it's insulting to her as an artist." And Robert was like, no, like I can make a I'm a terrible writer, but I can be on like the New York's bestseller list because I'm a good marketer. But if you understand how to do marketing, you like it would be easier. It would be easier for you to make a living off of like your skills as being a writer. Like basically, like, if I can do it and I'm terrible, then like you can absolutely do it if you apply it yourself into something that you thought was initially evil. Ooh, I'm gonna have to go now. Thank you so much for the comic, company comic artist artist Gene. All right, thanks Shizamura. You take care. Thanks for coming out. I think I'm gonna stream for 1 more hour. Yeah, we're gonna stream for 1 more hour. I'm gonna see if I can finish. Uh, Peace. Yeah, I agree. Like, I think after seeing that, whatchamacallit, that book, or seeing that reading that chapter, that really switched my mind up because I was exactly like that the writer of that story because before I went to college I was like, oh man, I hate marketing. I I I would rather let like companies like Webtoons or Manga Plus or uh what have you take care of. I would just post my comics there and hope for the best that the people who are just like scrolling, like I would get somebody's attention just by the titles, the titles and the thumbnails I would put on the webtoons or whatever, and Tapaz, and hope that would get me somewhere. But lo and behold, it doesn't, because those websites are made for you. It are made like those canvas stuff, that canvas feature, or just like a lot of these like webcomic hosting websites. They really want you to host on their website for so you can use social media to get more people aware of your comic, so you can read it on their so people can read it on their website, and they'll get them more traffic, and they'll profit off, and they'll find ways to profit off of it, off of like your hard work, while their their contribution is just creating a space for you to basically promote them for your work. And if they don't even have a proper sales funnel, then it is what it is. It is what it is. But growing up, I found out that yeah, marketing, like being an effective marketer, is honestly the way. Um, you have to market yourself first and foremost, and that's something that I had to learn for myself. So, and now being a marketer for like a while, almost a year, over a year now, I find it pretty fun. I think marketing is pretty fun. There we go. It's like just the whole game of getting people interested and trying out different things, and just being what's the word, observant. You know, it really helps. Let's see if I can finish this page. Finish drawing all the characters of this page today. I've done a lot of talking. I feel like maybe I need to take the mic off, because I just keep I keep like looking directly at the mic and stopping and just pacing. This is fun. This is fun. Okay, let's see. Hmm. Hmm. I want her to wave hello. I'm trying to figure out like the body language of this. I like talking to it, so I like talking to, so that is fine. Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to figure out like a good line of action. Like this is pretty stiff, but I think this line of action is pretty stiff. Her legs right over there. Okay. Her hand could be up there. Hand could be high. And I want her hand to be like kind of angle. Of course, it's gonna be angled like this, with her palms raised. chin up high, full of confidence. To greet her friend. But yeah, but I feel like we had a really, I like that we had a pretty good conversation. I don't know. I don't know how I am testing out streaming probably like twice a day and see how that goes. Just for this week, honestly. Because I mean right now, um I have been doing I've been attracting more people than I have in the past, and that's interesting. Or maybe I don't know, like more unique people. I'm not sure, but on YouTube and a Twitch. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. But hey, I'm learning about it. I'm learning. And also, I assume it's because of having a camera over here. It helps close the gap between. It's interesting to look at. It probably keeps people more engaged. Because I remember when I was like younger or like earlier in the game, I didn't want to show my face because didn't want to be like a personality. I just wanted to people to look at my work and like going into marketing and seeing like and experimenting with what works and what doesn't. It it pushes you to do things that you thought you would like not do, and I think it's easier for people to relate when they see the face, the man behind the man behind the art. And that's all the coffee for the day, for the morning. Okay, let's see if I can make it. I should be able to make it. Miss Almus, do you think anime has propaganda for bad ideas uh, to TV shows? Because I feel like anime is more pure than TV shows. I feel like that question is far too. I'm stretching it now. That question is like far too broad. And let's see. I think a lot of things. My brain is going a mile a minute right now because I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking about that question because that made me think of a lot of things because the first thing that comes to mind is that American TV shows of it's art, and the people who are behind a lot of art are very much uh, lean towards a more like American left liberal idea, and I think it's you have to every time you talk about art, you have to bring culture into the mix, right? And like American TV show, the American culture is very much different from like Japanese culture in the sense of how they treat entertainment, how they treat art, and what their use is for said entertainment. I think all art is political. And I know people are gonna be like, "Ah, no, 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 no. Like, no, no, no." It's like the purpose of art, the purpose of telling a story, a TV show, is to explain a reality and like explain like the creator's perspective of reality and using that visual medium as a bridge to understand a different point of view. Um, whether that be in like a and whether that be like how we should treat each other or how we should treat our environment or how we should treat ourselves, each other, in our environment. Sometimes all three, right? Um, and with a lot of TV shows in America are like America. A lot of the stuff that are popular are made of people with a very much of a left leaning liberal agenda, because that's what the people are making it. That's what the people who are in charge of making those that content want to produce in the world, right? And that content is what they believe how the world should run. For Japan has always been very much I wouldn't say left leaning. I feel like they see it differently than than like how you would box a lot of how you would like box by looking at it through an American perspective, right? There would be a lot of similarities, but there would be a lot of similarities, but I feel like they're speaking completely different languages of like where they're coming from, because the Japanese just treat certain ideas differently than how Americans do. Um, is anime propaganda? Like, yeah, everything. I feel like everything is propaganda. Um, there is a propaganda that aligns more to your views, and there's propaganda that lies uh, away from your views. And from what I understand through like a lot of Japanese art in terms of culture and such, um, they still have a lot of Confucianist Confucianist values that's like very parallel to a uh, that's very parallel to like the 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 beliefs of Abrahamic faiths. Because when you look at Buddhism, it has a lot of it agrees on like what is negative with a lot of Abrahamic faiths. Where it disagrees is how we overcome those negative aspects that we find in life. So, and how like people should deal with it, right? Um, I think that should usually go into account of how Western media tackles propaganda, and like how it tackles the theme to it over not over but against how anime does it, because anime is very broad. They have animes that will have two completely different thesis of what they want to talk about, kind of like Evangelion and Gurren Lagann, you know, where Evangelion is very pessimistic, like early Evangelion is very pessimistic, while Gurren Lagann is meant to be optimistic in nature. Um, Pessimistic about, Evangelion just pessimistic about like human connections, humanity's future, while Gurren Lagann is the complete opposite of that. Believe in the human spirit and stuff and such like that. And I don't know if I explained it explained it, but I was just letting my mouth talk, because I was just letting my mouth talk. I don't know if that answered your question. So if I say anime is more pure than TV shows, it really depends on what you're looking at. It really depends on what you're looking at. There are very pure like Western shows, and there's very pure anime shows. There's very degenerate Western shows, and there are and you won't go far to find degenerate anime shows. It's very case by case basis. Like I know, like it kind of reminds me of like how a lot of like anime show, like a lot of animes uh, would be okay with. They have been okay with having like openly gay or just LGBT characters in their shows, but like usually it would be of a derogatory nature, or if they're in the show, kind of like Sailor Moon. That's like a good example because in Sailor Moon, like I know like there are like some two of the main cast are lesbians, but that's just but like even though the culture, they for the longest time they're like we don't mess with that, right? But they see fiction in a different way of it's not real. It's not real, you know. They perceived fiction differently. Um, so they're okay with a lot more stuff in fiction because I don't think that I don't know. It's very strange, and I don't think I'm well versed enough to talk about that topic. OMG, I'm sorry, I did not mean it this way. And actually, I'm not religious. Okay. Oh no, yeah, I get you. I get you. I like like for me, a lot of things pretty much goes down to religion or an ideology because that's pretty much the driving force of a lot of like every human being. I would say. So if it's not like a certain religion or a certain ideology, it would be from either one idea. It would either come from a certain idea. Everything comes from something, you know. Because like I don't think you can talk about culture and not talk about religion and like and how it affects the people there. Like to leave one thing without the other, it's very weird to me. Hmm. I'm trying to see how I'm gonna do her mouth. Like I want it to be big and annoying and joyful in a way. Maybe I should draw the mouth, the face first. What time is it? Okay, 30 more minutes. Ah, shucks. Like in terms of jobs, for example, they tell you not. Oh, in like in terms of jobs, for example, they do not tell you about how to make. Oh, like in jobs, for example, they do not tell you about how to make money, and they always try to tell you that the job is the only solution for money. Oh yeah, literally, literally. Um, I remember there's one thing that I've heard, and I usually repeat it. Like the goal isn't to the way to make money isn't through a job. The goal of money is to is to the goal isn't to get a job. The goal is to make money, and making money. All you need to do is have a product or service that people are willing to transfer that well are willing to transfer your money, transfer their time or effort with that money. And a lot of people don't really understand that. Well, a lot of older people don't really understand that because they're under a lot of people older people just don't understand that. I suppose. And yeah, so like I completely understand where you're coming from with that. They don't tell you how to make money, and they always tell you for money. I also think it's because it's very safe. When people say like just get a job, it's a very safe bet, and the majority of people are not entrepreneurs. They will take the safe. They have a job because it's a safe route. Um, Especially when you're in your 20s, like it makes the most sense to spend your life doing something stupid risky like what I'm doing right now, like making as much mistakes as possible and trying to um yeah, making as much mistakes as possible, as many mistakes as possible, and trying to learn from them. So when you get into your 30s, you've knocked out a lot of that mistakes out of the park, and you can just have a have a have a way of flourishing from that. I think my biggest mistake was just spending too much time expecting other people to market my things for me, market my art for me, or at least see the vision. Because I remember when I was going to literary agents, the people are in con who are usually in contact with companies who make adaptations of adaptations of books. I was trying to be represented. I was trying to get like Purgatory Academy represented by a by an agent, by a literary agent. And I remember the after several rejections and after several rejections and just being left on red. I remember there's one guy who said that he really appreciates what I'm doing, with the problem with Purgatory Academy, as that specific idea was that it was unsellable. It was essentially unsellable. Um, so so that was pretty weird. That was pretty like I was like made me sad for a while, but I noticed that a couple months later, or what was like a year later, I was I was selling at flea and farmers markets, and when I was telling other people about my idea, they really liked the idea. They liked the way that I pitched it. They liked the way that what I wanted to do with the story. And the story of my life is essentially the people who I'm trying to impress. Um, they don't see they don't see my value, but but like the people do, you know. So yeah, it like the I guess the correct solution isn't the most obvious one, but a lot of people like to go to a job or something because it's stability. People go to university for stability. People go because it shows stability. People go to want you to have a job because it's stability. Um, Nobody wants like people don't want to take risk because failure is failure is uncomfortable. And I remember one thing that I notice when I'm like looking at a lot of YouTube. What I have a bad habit of just like looking at YouTube drama documentaries. And the one thing that I always hate about one thing that I always hate about YouTube drama documentaries is when like the first thing that people usually say about a commentator or whatever, they say that, oh, this is a failed comedian turned commentator. Like why does it matter? Like I say, why does it matter that it failed? Because failure is very important. Failure lets us learn to it gives us experience to move on to the next thing. That we suddenly find success in, but it's because of that failure that we moved on to do something that uh, helped us grow in a completely different, in a similar but different field. And I hate, and that comes with a lot of connotation that failure is a bad thing. And you succeed in one thing is because you is because you couldn't do the thing that's previous in a derogatory way. I guess I like listening to those types of videos to understand the rhetoric, because like to understand like how people use negative rhetoric. It's annoying to watch, but like I learn more things about I learn things about the commentator more than the actual top the person the actual subject of the video. I always feel like there is a good way and a bad way. There's always like a good way or a bad way of portraying your ideas, you know? I agree, that's so true. I remember I saw this one. I remember I saw this one video. It was like from this one animator called Dupus Goobus. It was like a 4th of July video, and the entire video had it was okay. That's how I would say it. It was so weird because it was like a whole straw man video of him talking to an old guy that said, you know, the Civil War was not about slavery; it was about states' rights, and the whole thing about the whole his whole video was about states' rights to what? Own slaves. Well, let me just and all he did for the entirety of the video was just like provide evidence for to all I did was provide evidence for the idea that the civil American Civil War was holistically about people owning slaves. And sure, I'm like, okay, cool. You can have a video that presents that evidence in that light. That's awesome. But what was more interesting to me is how he presented his counter argument. Like I get so weary when people present their like intellectual opposition as complete buffoons. Like they believe that like if somebody believes that somebody holds a belief over like a for paper thin reasons, right? That makes me question the first guy, right? That makes me question the person. Like you actually believe that it doesn't take that much for a person to think one way or another. That tells me that they are no different. Yet they are no different. Yet they're making fun of somebody else for having the wrong opinion and for having a wrong opinion. And the whole entire video gave me like a sense of it gave me a sense of you like this person might not have any problems throwing his friends under the bus if it's convenient for him publicly if it's publicly convenient, because if a person is so readily available to say something that is so easy to say and expect praise from it, then that tells me like that is an example of a weak-willed person, a weak-willed individual. I don't know the guy personally, but I remember that video. It just rubbed me so like the wrong way, completely. I'm not saying that I'm a Civil War expert or anything. I just said like I'm just speaking of the rhetoric that was used in that video, and I was like, nah, that's interesting. I'm like that's so interesting. Like people can disagree and that's cool, but like the way that you like if an individual presents their opponents as complete buffoons, then I'm like, okay, so you think you think that this is how the world works. That's cool. If my thoughts, like, if this is how the world works, if it's truly how human beings think and operate, how is that a problem? How is that a problem? And like, if they don't know better, and they cannot, and if they do not know better and they refuse to know better, um you are just taught, you're not adding anything to the, like, if the person is not adding anything to the conversation. That's just me. But I don't know. Man, drawing this head is so difficult. How am I gonna do this? Can you explain simply? I don't understand many things. I'm sorry, my English is bad. Okay. I guess the simplest way I can explain this is hmm, if one person believes that their opposition, if one person believes that people can understand, that people holistically believes in an ideology with very weak evidence. I won't say weak evidence because, well, I won't say weak evidence because that's subjective. That is a subjective term. How do I put this? If somebody, hmm, I'm trying to find a way that if I can explain it the best way, simply. Believe, like, okay, so the first thing that comes to my mind is reflection, right? Reflection is the biggest, is like the biggest keyword that comes to my mind. And when you're when the person that you are, or that, like, that is criticizing another person, I mean simple English, okay. So when I see, like, a lot of, like, takedown videos of an ideology, or of an I see a takedown of an ideology or a belief, or somebody holding a specific belief, when I see their means of attacking that belief is in a very weird way, in a way specifically of, I want to say reflection. Because like, this is where it gets difficult to explain. This is difficult to explain because I'm not a master of this. I speak a lot, but I'm so far not a master of this. Um, yeah, I understand. Sorry, I'm sorry. Very much on the spot. If somebody believes a person's worldview is dumb just by the sake of it existing, uh, then if it, then the person who accuses that belief. I don't know. I don't know how to simply put it. So I'm sorry. It's very complex. I don't know. No matter how you think you should respect, no matter how much you think you are, no matter how much you think you are, you should respect the other person's opinion. You are right. It's something like that, but I don't think every opinion should be respected. Personally, I don't think every opinion should be respected. Or like I don't know what people mean when they say like respect other people's opinion, other people's opinions, because there are opinions that are absolutely harmful to another person's way of life, or not a way of life, because that's still not every. I don't think every way of life is equal. Um, it's very interesting. Uh, it's very interesting. Like under, I don't think everybody should like choose your battles. I think that's the best way I can say it. Choose your battles, right? That's because you may not agree with everything, but it doesn't mean if it doesn't like directly. I don't know. I'm not gonna say it doesn't directly affect you because I feel like that's also bad territory. I say choose your battles. Choose your battles wisely. Like if somebody comes into the stream and makes a and disagrees with me on like anything that I say, um, that would be a battle that will be like a battle that begun. I feel like I would have to like what was it? I can go on and reply to that person of explaining if I can explain what my ideas are in a more verbose manner. Mostly because drama helps engagement, and that will help me out in the long run. However, uh, I guess it will go back to like that whole Twitter thing where everybody on Twitter is just a cesspool of arguments of nobody changing each other's minds for nobody changing each other's minds because everybody's constantly in lockstep of their within their own opinions and their philosophies on life. Um, I think choosing your battles. When I say choose your battles, I mean like understand like what uh understand like why you're engaging in conversation. Is it to learn more? Is it to learn more about the opposition? Is it to I wouldn't say stop a more dangerous idea. Stop a more dangerous idea, because I don't really believe that anymore. I don't I don't think you can stop an idea at all. Like the America tried that with communism way back when, and now we're at a timeline where people think communism is a good idea. So it's weird. Communism is a good idea, even though like the American government tried so hard to like stop it. You know, I think like the only instances where like ideas are completely dead in the water or within dead religions. And I think religions usually die out when conquest and the eradication of history of like either like conquest, the eradication of the peoples, or the eradication of their history. But that goes into a completely different thing. I heard someone say everyone. I heard someone say everyone when somebody say a shocking opinion from your point of view, you should try to be open minded because they are a chance. There's a chance that they are right. That count. I hate the term open minded. Me personally, um, I don't know what people mean when they say open minded, because when I had a conversation with my siblings, they say that I'm not like I hear them out and I try to understand their point of view. I just disagree, and because I disagree with their opinions, they say that I'm closed minded. So every time when somebody say, so that instilled an idea to me that open minded means, you're just not. I'm just not agreeing with them. If I don't agree with them, then I'm not open minded. Um, so I would for with me personally I would just use the word humble, because I've been in arguments where I feel like I would go too far, or I feel like my reasonings didn't match up with reality, and that takes a lot of reflection to do. That takes a lot of reflection, because what's that term? There was a term for it. Cognitive dissonance is a real thing, and yeah, cognitive dissonance is a real thing. So it takes a person that is humble. I wouldn't say open minded, but just humble to say, okay, you might have a point. Yes, I mean humble. Okay, cool. Man, I feel like her head needs to be bigger. Let's see if I can do this a little bit. It's almost 12. I didn't finish this thing. Ugh. It's it's very interesting. But when it comes to argue, man, because I for me personally, I do believe in a objective. I do believe in objective truths. I don't believe. I think the idea of subjective truths is so dumb, because a subjective truth is just an opinion. Um, I believe that objective truths exist, and I think we are kind of in an era of people wanting to be comfortable with their own opinions and their own worldviews. It's either you affirm it or you're closed minded. Like as my siblings were said to me, you know, and it's freaking. I don't know where I'm gonna go with it. I don't know where I'm going with it, but yeah, it takes a lot of humbleness to understand, and also understanding that like people don't want to have their mind changed about certain topics, and then you have to like, and then like that's something that you have to like leave it to them and God essentially. If it's talking about like something that doesn't matter, like oh man, what's the best Street Fighter series, or then like sure whatever, it doesn't matter, because that's a subjective topic. But when it comes to like politics, religion, what's the value of truth, philosophy, then yeah, being humble with like how you see the world and how you treat uh, your mental opponent is good. Treating it with respect, I suppose. I guess that's what I really want like to do with Purgatory Academy. Where like when I write demons, they're not like overtly. They're not like, ah man, I'm gonna do bad things because I'm evil. They're like, no, I have a reason to do these bad things. I know it's bad. I have a reason to do these bad things, and I'm gonna do it anyway because I have a bigger goal in mind. And that's also what I like about writing too. I guess yeah, that goes back to early in the conversation. You can tell a lot about a person's way of thinking by how they present uh, their bad guy, their intellectual opponent. The way that they present their opponent is a reflection of how they perceive the world. It's like an equal opposite. Uh, they're essentially telling on themselves because like the way that reflection works is that you it's like the pot calling a kettle black, like calling yourself out. If you really believe that people will just do awful things just because, that that tells me that that person may do awful things just because that's justification for they because I think that's a good enough justification if they are pushed to it. I'm trying to think, but that's the way that I see things right now. Like Geto Suguru. Who's that? Who's Geto Suguru? Oh man, Jujutsu Kaisen. I couldn't do that. Ah man, I'm not there yet. He is evil, but he has a point. Yeah, and that's what makes them most compelling villains. Like, oh my god, I should have just said I should have related everything back to freaking storytelling. That's my bad. The most effective villain are villains that people can relate to. If your villain says okay, I'm a bad guy, sure, but a true villain, and there's are not villains in their own story. They have reasons to do what they're doing. So when somebody makes a hit piece article on somebody else and say, "Oh, this person believes in these things, therefore they're bad," without understanding why people have those beliefs to begin with, that tells me that they believe in super simplistic reasons why of the opposite, right? Like, oh, this person believes in bad things because they're evil. Well, I believe in good things because they're good. You know? Oh, this guy just likes killing puppies. He likes burning down hospitals. Why does he burn down hospitals? Man, I don't know. People are just evil, I guess. But not me though. I donate to charity. I save kittens. Why do I save kittens? Why do I donate to charity? Because it's the right thing to do. Give me some positive Reddit karma. I should have said that in the beginning. Like, are there things that are innately good or innately bad? Sure. Yes. Of course. Right? But like even like the worst people unimaginable, they still have manifestos. They write journals about why they go from point A to point B. There's a reason why there is a pipeline to everything. But the weird thing about like the pipelines is like it really goes down to people wanting to be understood and their the worldview that they created, and in the worldview that they created, and one thing that leads to another. It's a gradual idea of one thing that leads to another, and it's usually just an outburst, like an outburst of every of the pot boiling, so to speak. And that's probably why I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting because the human psyche is very complex. Like nothing scares me. Like nothing's more satisfying because like I said, I'm a storyteller. Nothing's more unsatisfying, and nothing's uh more nothing makes the least sense as, oh, this person did X, Y, and Z just because it just happens. Don't think of like it's essentially telling me like don't think about it. It just happens, and I'm like, no, there's a reason why the trees go from the ground, and there is a reason why I eat food. There's a reason why people do awful things. There's a reason why people do good things, right? So when something out of the ordinary happens, it only makes sense to investigate why it happens or why people believe in morally repugnant things. But I don't know. That's what I should usually do when things are complex. I just should just relate everything to a story. That's why they're so powerful. That's why I love storytelling. I mean, I hate this face. Well, this isn't the first time the main character the audience sees this character. Me. Okay, this is good. Yeah, that's good. That's what I need. I don't need to draw the bottom half of her. Yeah, I think this is good. One, two, three, four. I did what I wanted to do today. I guess with the line art. I'll do the coloring of the hair. Well, the toning of the hair, the shading of the hair. When I get to more of the shading, this is just laying down the line art. I could also do this because this is also like three things. So this is saved. All right, cool. But this is where I'm gonna end off with the stream. Thanks, Mohammed, for coming out, keeping me company, keeping my brain juices flowing, keeping me entertained. Because this is fun. So, in terms of this topic, can I ask you what do you think about Israel and Palestine war? As an American, I don't really. Okay. Oh my gosh. This is wrong. As an American, I don't think Americans. It's anybody who thinks that America goes to war for any just reasons. They are they're being sold a false bag of goods because Israel and Palestine, they've been warring. Well, it's not really a war between Israel and Palestine. It's more of a war between. If you do not know a lot, then about it, it's just fine. The way that I see it is that it's not really a war between Israel and Palestine. It's more of a war of like Muslims and Jews. That's how I see it. Because they Israel and Palestine, and the reason I think the way that my perspective comes from is like the only reason why Israel is where it is right now is because Americans it's because of America, um, and America is just using Israel as a proxy. like America's just using Israel as a proxy to uh, to uh, to uh, um, to obtain resources, for the lack of a better word. And it's like if anybody thinks that this kind of war is has anything to do with who rightly owns this land, it's not about that. These governments, they don't care about that. They don't care about the people that they govern. I'm not convinced that they care about the people that they govern. Um, it's it first and foremost. If it wasn't Israel and Palestine, it would just be a religious war because between the Muslims and the Jews. Um, and The whole reason why people even care about the conflict in general is because there's a lot of special interests. Uh, there's a lot of people people in high places in America that really wants Israel to stay a sovereign nation. It's not it. I'm saying as an American perspective, like we really don't need to be there. But the reason why we are there is because of the special interests of the people in government and not of the citizens of the United States. It really doesn't have anything to do with us. I would say just, but that's, it is what it is. It really doesn't. And if somebody gets mad for my opinion, I'll just say it really doesn't matter what I think about what's going on in the war, because I'm not convinced that there's anything that I can do. There's not anything that I'm not convinced that there's anything anybody on Twitter who can do that does all that free Palestine stuff. I'm not convinced that, like, I'm not convinced that that my opinion or anybody else's opinion is capable of stopping what people in government that are moving trillions of dollars, like hundreds of millions and billions of dollars to like countries uh that aren't interested in the American people. The American government is not even interested in the American people. So I don't. It's very pessimistic, but it's what I'm observing right now. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Um. So why aren't people asking me to? It's like why aren't people asking me about what's going on in China with the with the Uyghur Muslims? Why aren't people talking to me about why it's happening with tribal wars going on in Africa, the piracy, and how no, why is nobody talking to me about the slavery that's going on in a lot of these African nations? Why aren't they talking to me about the Uyghur Muslims in China and as concentration camps? Why aren't they talking about all the other world atrocities that's happening around the world? But we're just focusing. But everybody's focusing on Israel and Palestine or Russia and Ukraine. Why? Because it's beneficial for like the government to, because like they have resources that America wants, and they want to go to war, so they're using propaganda and other means of storytelling to get people what was it? To get people to care to care about sending other people who are not involved in this war to die for the special interests of the government instead of the people. Let's just say getting other people like anybody who is not in real Israel and Palestine, they really should. Actually, I think that we just live. Americans and like people in the first world. They just live so much. We've been we've been living in wars that like haven't been fought on our own home turf for so long. People forgot how conquest is, how the majority of like human existence with civilized borders and like civilized borders, like that's how it goes. But like that's how it goes. But hey, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I don't think it's a religious war, but a lot of you are saying I agree. Um, is it a real? Hmm. It may not. It may not be. All I know is. All I know is. It is like Israel is just a is. I've been to Israel before. Um. But it was. I think. Yeah. It was before all of this. Yeah, I've been to Israel before. It was like a couple of years ago, like 2 years ago. Um, and like the first thing I noticed, it was like I don't know if you played like GTA San Andreas. It was like there were like sections of like Muslims, Jews, and Christians, kind of like how the Crips and the Ballers, and like the Mexican turf war in San Andreas. It's funny how that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Um, but yeah, it's I really I say yeah, I do think the people themselves, I do feel like they probably think I don't know. I don't know. I'm not saying it's primarily because of religion because when like government like when the American government gets involved, it's like no, it's not. It's not about religion. It's mostly about resources. It's yeah. I said like religion is another aspect because wars aren't really started by like one thing. So if like I'm not saying I don't want to. Yeah, that's why I'm like yeah, it may not be a religious war because wars are started or like a start like or piles and or like different aspects piling on top of each other to a boiling point. And I think having that added beef of oh yeah like the Jews and the Muslims they don't like historically they don't like each other. Um, like I know like like even like the Jews don't even like the Christians, but knowing like knowing a little bit about like Muslim history is like what like conquest is more their game historically. They're very good at they're really good at conquest. But I know that this isn't really a war per se. Per se for religion, it's just like it's another driving force to get people riled up against each other. And I think at I think even before the war, it's there's a lot of conflict and tension, and I'm like, it really, it really, there's nothing I can do about it. Honestly, I don't really think about it that much. I don't really think about the conflict that much, and I'm just saying like, there's really nothing that I can say or do about it. There's nothing that any American citizen can say or do about it. To stop the government from like fueling the fires of evil deeds overseas because I feel like a lot of a lot of the world governments are just inherently evil. So, they're like inherently evil. So it's unfortunate, but that's how and that's how I'll end off this stream. Thanks so much, Mohammed, for stopping by, talking to me, keeping me company. I'm gonna finally sit down for the first time in like 3 hours, and what else? And I'll get in my notes and jotting because Israel and Israel all not originally they're not originally from this land. The British gave them the land because they funded the World War II, so they also came to this land that already has people. That's what I've heard. Yeah, I've heard about that. Like from the history that I've heard, it was like it was I thought it was a I thought it was like a Americans who did that because of World War II, and they just put it there. But I do know is like they just installed them. Like the people who were there, they were just installed there. So that's what I know. I might be wrong, but like I said, it's not going to affect me or affect anyone or affect like how this war is going to resolve, because the stronger hand will prevail. So that's how wars are. Or maybe it's gonna be like another forever war. It's gonna be like another forever war because like America really loves war and selling guns to like both sides of the party. So it's all a game to get people interested, which it sucks that people are dying. It really sucks that people are dying, and if you take a step back, like everybody like there are wars being fought in lands that we don't even know, like and like the western world, civilized world, are so desensitized that war is just the natural way of life for human beings that it's uncomfortable. They've been comfortable for so long they've forgotten how this is how it works. This is how humanity has been for the majority of its existence. And it's I'm seeing that the government is just using us being comfortable as a way to get us involved in something that doesn't involve us. But that's it. Yeah, I really enjoy talking. Thanks for talking. But that'll be it. Peace. Thanks for stopping by.